2, 1. Welcome back to Nerds in the Gym.
Who are you? Oh, okay, you're Brandon. And I'm Marco, and today is January 21st, 2023. I want to start off with our latest fan comments. All from one person named Loki Thor. Loki Thor said on our Filthy 50 episode that he didn't like the Santa Clauses because there was no character development. Also, Cal Penn was a caricature of a bad guy. He goes from single dad doing the best he can to maniacal. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yep.
Jeff Bezos in a couple days. Are you laughing that I didn't know how to pronounce that?
No, I'm laughing because usually it's like, hey, how's it going? Or, hey, what'd you do? And now you're just like irate at these.
Oh, yeah.
Is this the guy from the gym?
This is Devon's. Devon, I'm sorry you didn't like the Santa Clauses. I thought it was beautiful. It was great to have Tim Allen back as Santa. He was my Santa.
Was he looking for character development?
I guess.
I guess we should probably call him and get his take.
Yeah.
Do you have his number?
I do actually have his number.
Probably should just cold call him.
Oh, yeah, maybe not.
No, I mean, did I need character development from Tim Allen's character?
There was some character development.
What changed? He went from not wanting to be Santa to being, I want to be Santa.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that was the character development.
Which I feel is... I mean, I don't look too deep into character development.
You know, to be fair, they did make the show in the span of literally 3 to 4 months.
Right. And
like, honestly, legitimately writing a script and filming the entire thing in 3 to 4 months.
I think the only character that got development were the kids.
Yeah.
Scott Calvin's kids.
I think that's where they want the show to go, though, eventually.
I don't know, man. I'm starting to think all the streaming services are just happy with a couple seasons.
Yeah.
Like, was there any other comments?
Another one. He said, do you recycle conversations from the gym and repackage them for your podcast? Yes. That's exactly what I do.
We had issues early on that we had to not talk about things at the gym because we had nothing to talk about.
But the difference is now is I was talking to him about the conversations.
I mean,
I didn't talk to you about them yet.
I mean, to be fair, I do the same thing with this podcast and work. So, I think there's only so much going on in day-to-day life. We can't have exclusive combos.
Yeah. Yep, those are the only 2 comments.
I mean,
we're growing, people.
Did you follow him back?
Oh, no, should
See
I?
what his YouTube page is looking like?
Let's check out what his YouTube page is looking like. How do I get...
Also, shout out to us 3 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row, I know.
3 weeks and 6 episodes.
Let's see. He has 2 subscribers. Boss Ruins are clean sweep. Ray versus Ray. We still lose.
Oh, I just wasn't sure if he was putting up content.
Yeah. Star Wars GOH. I don't know what GOH is. What game that is. Oh my god, that's the mobile game Galaxy of Heroes. Wait, he actually has videos of him playing it.
Nice.
And he's got the webcam set up in his video.
Good for him. Yeah. We should probably start doing that.
Well, that's what I have this stuff for.
Well, the problem is you don't react. You don't say anything. You just sit there and play the game.
When I play my games, yeah.
Well, I tried watching the videos.
Most of the
you
time,
don't respond. You don't talk. You just...
Me and my friend Mike. So the one thing that has happened, though, is I didn't have his audio turned on for a bit. I have it turned on now. One thing I need to do now, though, is because I have a new monitor that's capable of 120 FPS. I want to get a new capture card for the game so then its output would also be 120 hertz to my monitor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of words.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Mandalorian trailer?
Oh, it looks spectacular. There are so many places that it seems like it's going in terms of planets.
Yeah, so we know it's going back to Tatooine. Sorry. There's an N in there, but I feel like I say it too harsh.
But Tatooine was in the trailer?
Yeah, remember the girl or the woman that watches Grogu time to time with the curly hair?
Oh, yep, that's right.
She was there.
We have Carl Weathers back.
I think it's going to be the same thing. I think he's going to be in one episode.
Yeah.
Because it looks like he got some sort of promotion.
They don't have the girl back. Gina.
No, the XUFC fighter.
Yeah.
She almost got her own spin-off.
I know.
But now I'm pretty sure that spin-off got canceled altogether.
Yeah.
It's going to be like her, Bill Burr, a couple other people.
No, I think Bill Burr still has one coming out.
A solo Star Wars episode series?
Yeah. The New Republic or something?
I still haven't gotten around to Andor yet, so one day.
It's a little boring.
I know you're not a Dragon Ball Z fan.
Nope.
So I didn't watch the new episodes yet, the Super. I was watching them when they were released in Japan, so I had to like wait for the English translation on the bottom.
Is theirs like Pokemon? They just keep going and like renaming the series as it goes on?
No, what happened, Dragon Ball Z was off the air for almost like 15, 20 years.
Oh.
And then they just brought it back.
Oh, okay.
But Hulu, so I started watching it and Hulu popped up and goes, we're taking this off in 11 days.
Oh. So now you got binge watch?
I'm binge watching pretty hard. Which is tough for a show I don't usually binge watch.
Yeah. Yeah, but we have good shows coming out. We got Mandalorian, Season 3.
Oh, let's go back to Mandalorian so we're not bouncing around.
Yeah. Sorry, Devon. Apparently we bounce around too much. We'll stay more concise to the Mandalorian.
Let him have his constructive criticism because his criticism was spot on.
It was spot on. It's more my problem, but you were the one that just went off topic. Maybe. You started talking about Dragon Ball Z.
Could be. Let's not pass the blame here. Don't let Devon come between us. It told us nothing about the story, right? Did I miss out?
No, it told us nothing.
And the way that show bounces around...
Yeah.
What we saw might just be an isolated episode, because it looks like he teams up with some more Mandalorian.
Yeah, so the way I think it is... So he has the Darksaber, so technically he's the leader of Mandalore right now.
Right.
Which he's clearly going there to, like...
Does Mandalore exist?
Yeah, Mandalore still exists, but the planet is, like, destroyed after what happened during Order 66 in the Battle of Mandalore.
Mm-hmm. And we haven't gone to the actual planet, right?
We went at the end of Clone Wars, Season 7. That's where Ahsoka and Darth Maul dwelled.
So it's destroyed, though, right?
It's pretty much destroyed because...
No one's ruling it?
Yeah, because that's why there was the two factions between the Mandalores that could take their helmets off that we saw in Season 2, but then the Mandalorian that we see, Pedro Pascal's, that doesn't believe in it. Mm-hmm. Because we saw that in the Clone Wars. There were two different factions being made.
Right, I remember that.
There was like the blue ones and the red ones, Halo style. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, so there's two factions. So I feel like there's... And then the trailer shows, which I don't care about Grogu's force abilities. It's just kind of like the fact that they threw that in the trailer. I don't care. I just expect it to happen at this point. But one thing I could see happening is that Grogu obviously isn't going to be a Jedi anymore.
Correct. Are you happy about that or sad?
Oh, I don't mind. But I feel like Grogu will end up being the leader of the Mandalorian in the end.
Sorry, almost lost it. I hope not.
I'm not saying like at the end of this series, but at some point, because of his connection with Din Djarin, is that his name? Pedro Pascal's character?
You can call him
because of his connection with him and the fact that he has the Darksaber, I could see him passing it down as like that is part of Grogu's like...
You can't pass it down. It's got to be lost in combat, so Grogu's going to have to kill him.
Yeah. That would actually be an amazing ending to the show. If Din Djarin told him, you have to kill me so then you can take over Mandalore. Having a son kill their father for the better of the Mandalore. That'd be great.
But also, I don't know if I want the leader of the Mandalorian to be like 4'2" and just bossing people around.
I think that'd be all. That's how the Jedi Order was.
Yeah, because they were Jedis and they had force powers, but him with his own little rocket pack, it's like, My girl sent me a thing from Amazon. Are you familiar with Tamagotchis?
Those were those little like watches, and you had like an animal or something on it.
Yeah, sometimes they were watches, but a lot of times they were just little squares.
Yeah, you could. So the past couple of years in Call of Duty, you could get watches for your character that you could see during the screen, and Tamagotchi ones were one of them.
That's a pretty funny. But they made like Grogu ones,
Oh, really?
and she goes, "Do you want one?" And I was like, "No." I was just like, because that would be devastating when he runs away or dies, depending on which version of the Tamagotchi you had.
Oh, they die?
So there was like two brands. I can't remember. One would die, and then the others would run away. And my thing is like, how much time can I invest in a digital Grogu and not have him do either of those things?
Didn't they try doing that with Pokemon? Have like Tamagotchi Pokemon?
I believe they did. I know Digimon had some really cool ones
Oh, okay.
because the Digimon ones you could wear on your belt
Yeah.
and walk around with. They have them back. They're at Target. I almost bought one the other day.
Yeah, I think they got big because of the whole Call of Duty thing, having them.
Could be. Did you see that Disney? Anything else you want to talk about on The Mandalorian before we move on?
Not Mandalorian. I actually have news to bring up. I'm not sure if you saw it. There's another season 3 releasing this spring.
Of
Ted Lasso.
yeah, we knew that.
But it's official. It's spring. They put an image. They put an image out. And they confirmed it was this spring that the final season of Ted Lasso is releasing.
Which is a bummer. My thing with it, you do a show about a sports team, you can make that last forever. Because every season can be a new show.
But they specifically wrote the show out for 3 seasons before they made it.
But they said it's the final season, but if you talk to the actors, nothing is finalized.
Well, so here's the one thing I don't know either. Is it they could have had an outline for 3 seasons, but what if they stretch out season 3 so then it lasts 2 whole seasons?
I don't need them to stretch anything out. Just get the writers in a room. And
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what goes into filming that show.
Mm.
If you're bringing the American actors over to the UK
Yeah.
or vice versa.
That's a good question.
Because if they're filming in the US and everyone lives in the US, it's not a big deal. But
Yeah.
the one that plays the grizzly veteran that blows his knee out.
Oh, he's was at the end of Thor: Love and Thunder.
Was he? He was Hercules?
He was the god, that wants to go after Thor.
No,
That's
was him. That's awesome. I had no idea.
Yeah, that was him.
Because I haven't seen it since I watched Ted Lasso. That's him?
Yeah, that's him.
So the other thing that's cool about him is he's been on Sesame Street.
Oh, is he really?
So like he's acting like he's hanging out with like Oscar the Grouch and Elmo playing hide and seek.
Oh,
But
hilarious.
he talks just like his character does with that grizzly like UK growl.
Yeah, but he was Hercules, so if they make the next Thor movie, he's going to be the main villain, I think.
You know what? Screw that. Give him his own movie right now. Get him. Get the was it Zeus? Get
Yeah,
Russell Crowe's Zeus
yeah.
back. I don't even care what they do.
But that requires them getting Chris Hemsworth back, too.
Nope. Chris Hemsworth can retire, do his thing. Give me those two. I like Chris Hemsworth a lot, but I get sick of these guys going, oh, there might be another one, there might not be another one.
Yeah.
Just tell me what's coming, what's not coming.
Yeah, they didn't reveal much, though, about Season 3 of Ted Lasso. It was just a picture of Ted up against Nate.
I saw it.
Oh, you did see it?
Because you remember how last season ended.
Yeah. No, I feel like the show, personally, I feel like it's going to end with Ted Lasso's team losing to Nate in the finals.
And him just going home.
Yeah, but I feel like the way the show is also set up, it's like it's supposed to have the happy ending where he wins at everything and like brings that team from nothing to something.
Well, I feel like that's not happy for Ted Lasso. That's not what Ted Lasso drives him. I think Ted Lasso getting his family back.
Yeah.
But that's why I'd rather them just not end it.
I can't tell if he's going to hook up with the general manager or owner of the team and not get back with his wife or not.
Well, I don't think the general manager and him are going to hook up.
Yeah.
Because he's happily married with like 6 kids.
No, he's not happily married. That's why he left.
No, not Ted Lasso. The general manager. He's the general. You got the characters mixed up. The one that's the general manager.
Yeah,
is that British guy that like.
I was trying to say Ted Lasso and the general manager.
The owner.
Was the
owner.
Okay, Ted Lasso and the owner.
I don't think so. I think you have to have them being platonic. Because otherwise, everything leads up to that.
Yeah.
Since she's already dating one of the players. And he's
I
already
hated
hooked
that
up with
storyline.
her other friend.
I hated that storyline.
Because you hate love, Marco.
No, I hate age caps that big.
Oof. Gross. Don't be that guy, Marco. Don't put people in a
If you're
bubble.
like 20 years older, that should be illegal.
Nope, can't do that.
You can do that.
Can't do that. Before you leave off air, remind me, I have a question for you about that.
About age gap?
About someone with an age gap that we know. All right.
Oh,
so,
I know exactly what you're talking about, too.
So,
I know. Because I wanted to ask you the same question, actually.
for those listening at home, it's probably two different things. I can almost guarantee it. So that is off. You know who else got canceled? Cobra Kai on Netflix. I know it's not your thing, but
That was the Karate Kid spinoff thing, right?
yeah, but it's really good, and every season's been really good. It went from YouTube tried to do their own like streaming channel,
Yeah.
and it was so good that I signed up for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Netflix took it over after 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing great in ratings, and now Netflix kills it.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of Netflix killing anything I enjoy.
I think it's because they're like legitimately not making money.
I read an article last year. What draws people to streaming services is reruns. Like, people will buy your streaming service to rewatch Friends.
And they basically lost all theirs, didn't they? Like, they lost The Office. Friends, I think, was on there.
Yep, they lost that.
Aren't they? I think they're losing Breaking Bad.
That's another huge one. So that's why you can make your own shows and it lasts a little while.
Yeah.
But most people are watching, like you said, The Office. People will just turn on The Office for 6 hours.
Yeah.
While they're going to sleep. So that's what bums me out.
Yeah. Trying to think what other ones.
But that one has got one more season, then it's getting canceled. So.
Huh. Cancel, or are they just ending the show?
I call it canceled because they're ending it. But they give them enough of a heads up. So
How
they
many
can end the
seasons
story.
total would it be?
This is the 5th.
I think that's a respectable amount.
I just enjoy it a lot. And the thing is, like, with these streaming shows, I need a couple of them to give me all the episodes at once.
You know what TV shows need to do more often? And I think The Office would greatly benefited from this.
Stronger female characters.
No. Not that we don't need those.
Whoa.
We need those.
No, whoa.
That's not what
That is not a Nerds in the Gym Brandon approved message from Marco.
Like,
not cool, bro.
Like, after season 4-ish... Actually, no. Like, some point in season 5 is, like, when The Office started to, like... It was still very good, but wasn't as good. It, like, peaked around season 4, season 5. I think shows should take, like, a few years break and then pick back up again, as opposed to continuously going year after year, season after season. And I think it would make them be able to last longer.
It's not realistic.
I think it's possible. Plus, it allows those guys to go out, make the big bucks in the movies, which they do for a few years, then they come back to their roots.
And it's just... You can do that. British TV does that.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up, and British TV is great, but my thing, it doesn't make sense. Like, so you take a couple years break, John Krasinski, for The Office example.
I'm saying, like...
He's going to go make a bunch of movies, make a bunch of money, and then he's going to come back, and they're going to pay him.
So here's the thing, is I think also nowadays, too, I think you go make those big bucks, but now because those actors are so big and stuff, it brings more notoriety to that show that they're on, and then they make more money in that way.
Right, you're just banking on them paying for everyone. Because you got to think, they're not going to be able to afford
But I think that allows, like, a nice
Steve
reset.
Carell and John Krasinski at that point.
Yeah. But I think it allows a nice reset, too, for the show, if they did something like that.
Also, I disagree with your peaks
plus-
after season 4.
Plus, you can have, like, a time jump, too, if you wanted.
Where you're going to have to.
Yeah, like, it doesn't have to be too big. It could be, like, a small one. It could be a big one if they wanted. And also, yes, let's see. Probably, I think it goes down after the fire drill episode.
You're crazy.
It's still very good, don't get me wrong.
No. It stops being good after Steve Carell leaves, but then that's just because you care about Steve Carell.
That
Rewatch those episodes after he leaves. They're really good.
That's they are really good. That's a falling off the cliff, though.
I think I disagree with you. Season 4, you're crazy.
Season 4, Season 5. But Season 5 is the Fire Drill episode, so it would be in the middle of Season 5, because I think it's episodes 14 and 15, because it was a two-parter.
Mm-hmm. I was going to pull out my old Office DVDs just to like go through it episode by episode, but then I was like, you're just being you. I mean, it's an interesting idea, but I just don't think the business model works.
I think it works.
Because like at one point, you're winning the streaming wars in the time clock, or time setting.
Can we also do something with TV shows? When we ask for reunions, we don't mean these stupid interview episodes or whatever those are.
True.
Can we get an actual episode where they reunite and all the characters come back together? They're their characters. I don't need this Jennifer Aniston talking to whoever the other character, David Schwimmer, about the show. No, I want them playing Phoebe and whatever the other guy's name is.
You were doing so well. You were doing so well.
I've never actually watched the show.
Ross and Rachel.
Ross and Rachel.
My thing is, like, if you actually watch that reunion show, which I did, they talk about back in the day, you'd know when your season's ending.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a decent show, they go, hey, this is the last season, we're ending it.
Mm-hmm.
So there was never, hey, we might come back and do this in 10 years.
Yeah.
So with Friends, you gave everyone a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have a show about everyone with a happy ending.
Yeah.
So you have to take X amount of characters and ruin their happy ending in order to have a show, and why would you want that to happen?
Yeah.
But also with the Friends example, if you talk to the showrunners, it's about a particular point in your life where your friends are your family.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to do the Friends at 50. Because now they have their families.
Yeah.
So
but what I think what they do isn't a bad thing. That whole reunion thing, the way they do it. I wish they did it as like that would be like a bonus thing that comes with whatever movie or episodes they do as the reunion.
No, I see. I think there is something to say about the movie model. If you have a TV show and then do a TV movie. What I'm intrigued by is, will Brooklyn Nine-Nine be able to do something again in the future? Because that show, I feel it got bigger after it went off the air.
Yeah.
So I feel, and if you look at the characters or the actors, not too many of them are. Andy Samberg produces a lot, and he does a movie here or there.
Yeah. I haven't heard of him doing much lately.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers was the movie of last year, Marco. Apologize to Andy Samberg.
I heard it was actually Puss in Boots.
Different year. That's this year. You see it yet?
That was 2022.
Puss in Boots?
Yeah, it came out end of 2022.
No, that goes into this year because we haven't done the awards for it yet.
Oh.
You see Puss in Boots?
No, I didn't, but people are saying it's better than Avatar.
I haven't seen either of them. Nor have you.
Nope.
Talked ourselves into a corner.
I won't be seeing Avatar either.
When we talk ourselves into a corner, there should be a penalty. Like, I don't even know. We should have, like, a wheel.
We could put,
punishments.
We should put nickels in a jar and give them to Devon.
Not even nickels. We should put quarters in a sock, and whoever talked us into the corner last gets hit with it. And then we can just upload the punishments.
I'm trying to think.
Can't talk your way out of that.
We could have butter in a sock.
Butter?
Yeah, because at least it's tasty.
No, it's not supposed to be tasty. Or we just have a disgusting milkshake of something. Sardines in a milkshake.
Milkshake sounds so good.
Actually, you're lactose intolerant, so milkshake enough is going to ruin your day.
Yeah. No, I'm not as lactose intolerant as I used to be. All right, so next topic. I don't have a next topic.
Oh, honestly, I was just letting you flounder for a minute.
Oh.
Horrible to listen to, but for me, it's very enjoyable. Tom Brady bounced from the playoffs this past Monday.
Oh, I actually wanted to do that. I wanted to go over what my predictions for this weekend.
Sure.
Okay.
You want to do them in order?
Yeah, I don't know the order of the games, though. I wanted to do that because I feel like I have some hot takes.
I believe the first one is going to be today, the 21st, Jaguars over Chiefs. Or sorry, Jags at Chiefs. So they're playing in Kansas City.
Oh, guys, yeah. So, I'm choosing Jags over the Chiefs. And I know that's a hot take. They've played each other once this year. So usually what happens is when teams play each other once already, it's either a very close game or it's just a big separation in the score. So usually, like, the Chiefs beat them earlier this year. So there's two options. Either it's a close scoring game where Jags win, or it's going to be a blowout by the Chiefs. And I think it's going to be a close game that the Jags just barely get the win out. And there's two reasons why. I don't know if it's two. There's multiple reasons why. Trevor Lawrence has been incredible the second half of the season, as well as that Jaguars team.
He's also never lost on a
Saturday. I was going to bring that up. But there's also something else on the line. Patrick Mahomes has never not made it to an AFC championship game. But the Jaguars' defense and offense have really stepped it up the past few weeks. They also had a big comeback win last week, and I think they could carry that momentum into this week, which I think is bigger than what the Chiefs' off week would do for them.
Let me know when it's my turn.
Oh, you can go for that one.
I would love to see the Jags win.
Mm-hmm.
Got Trevor Lawrence, never lost on a Saturday. If they go down by 2 scores, it might be over, though.
Yeah, it may be over if they go down by 2.
Which is crazy to think about.
I'm not going to say 2 scores as a touchdown field goal, though. I'm going to say 2 scores as in 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because if you go down by 2 field goals, that's a 1-score game. Just so you know.
No, I know if you go down by 2 field goals, it's a 1-score game. Mm-hmm. But I know sometimes they call it a 2-score game if it's a field goal and touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm going to say 2 touchdowns. I'm going to have to say it has to be at least 12 or more points to be considered 2 scores. Even then, that's still a very close game for them that I think is still manageable. Once it starts getting 14 plus, I think that's when you can start calling it.
The problem, it's not even a problem. So I'd love to see the Jags win.
Mm-hmm.
It's a legitimate David versus Goliath situation. Mm-hmm. This would be the biggest upset in NFL playoff in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
If this happens. So they only lost 27-17 earlier this season.
I know.
For as bad as the Jags were playing.
So I personally think this is going to be a very close game regardless, but I think the Jags are just barely going to get the edge on this one.
I would love to see the Jags win. My thing, I would like to see the Jags win, but also I would not be surprised if the Chiefs won 54-3.
That's the other thing.
That is the most insane game I've ever heard of that we're talking about. Oh, Jags could win, or the Chiefs could win by 54 points.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
if you watch the Chiefs this year, they come out slow sometimes.
Yeah,
which happens to every team.
I think they'll come out slow against the Jaguars with how they've been playing though is an issue at this time in the year.
Yeah, the Jags need to fire on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Also, Trevor Lawrence goes, I'm not really worried about the noise at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Should not have said that.
Did you hear about the whole Chiefs if they play the Bills in the AFC Championship game? It's going to be played at the Falcons Stadium.
Yep. Is that official?
That's official, but the Chiefs put in a request to the NFL asking if they could get it outdoors on, I think, on like real grass like their field is, and the NFL turned it down because they still wanted some type of home field advantage of what they're used to playing on. But I was like, that still isn't a big advantage for them because the Bills play in worse conditions than them.
I'll tell you what, we'll talk about that game, which is tomorrow, and then we'll bounce back to tonight's game.
Yeah.
The Bengals-Bills, people, I don't think are respecting the Bengals enough. Because if the Bengals win, all this is for naught. That whole...
Yeah, so I personally think Bengals are going to win. One, Josh Allen has not been the same since his elbow injury.
You're wrong. He's back.
I don't think... Did you see him in the second half last weekend against Miami?
Ooh. Miami played him tough, but that was the third time they played.
That is true, but I don't know.
That's a fair point.
And you have to think they almost let a team with their third-string quarterback come back into that game. So he
did score 34 points.
That's true, but you also have to look at what the defense just allowed too.
Oh no, are you blaming Josh Allen or are you looking at the defense?
Well, I'm looking at a combination of the two, Josh Allen and the defense. So Josh Allen wasn't producing the second half to keep the score up, to allow the Dolphins to start inching their way back, but also the defense wasn't able to hold the third string
right
at bay going into through the second half. So I think it's a combination of the two. Thing is, against the Bengals, so Bengals in that game they started a couple weeks ago, they were out on top until the game ended. Joe Burrow is going to most likely get off to a hot start, but he's not going to let the foot off the pedal either. He's going to keep attacking them. And the Bills' defense has not been as good as it has been in previous years.
I think them losing Von Miller halfway through the season is a little rough.
Oh, that's
so. Here's the thing with the Bengals and Bills. Bengals made it to the Super Bowl last year with no offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
We all saw it.
They
Bengals just lost 2 offensive linemen this week.
That is true.
So usually I'd be like, all right, quarterback's dead in the water. He's so used to getting hit 15 times a game.
Yeah.
So I like the Bengals' chances, but also what you can't discount, the Bills had that team of destiny feel.
Yeah.
Like when Ray Lewis was getting ready to retire.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning getting ready to retire.
So here's the thing, though. I feel like there's PTSD things that are going to be going on for both teams in this game, which makes it too hard for me to predict. Because I feel like some of the players are going to be they're going to be a little nervous out there. Like, it's going to be a very awkward feeling for some players, and it's going to be emotional for some players, too.
I think I can see it starting out a little slow because of that.
Yeah.
But I think they're professionals, and I think it's been long enough.
Yeah.
And with, is it DeMar? Am I saying
DeMar
right?
Hamlin.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to be at the game, but he's out of the hospital. He's back around the team a little bit. So I think the Bengals can win, but that Bills, man, it sounds like they have that team of destiny.
Also too, you have to think the Bills almost gave up that comeback at home last week.
Mm-hmm. But again, it's football, man.
It is.
Given Sunday. Back to tonight, we have Giants Eagles.
I think when was the last time the quarterback, what's his name, Hurts, has played?
Hurts came back last game of the regular season.
Oh,
because they had week round bye on the line.
Did he play well?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to choose Eagles over Giants then. That was the only thing that was swaying my thoughts. I don't know. The Giants are a weird team. Like, I could very easily see them winning just because of how bizarre their postseason history is. Mm-hmm. Especially, like, over the past decade or, like, decade and a half. So, but Eagles should win this game pretty easily.
I'm looking at the rookie head coach for the Giants, Devon. He's doing a really good job. The team's playing really well, but that Eagles team is a juggernaut.
Yeah.
So again, this is the third time these teams are playing each other this season.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, they're in the same division. Killing the sports talk, Marco. You were so close.
I know. So, yeah, I forget that they're in the same division. That's right.
Their division actually turned out pretty well this year.
Yes, shockingly.
I think the Eagles might roll them.
I'm thinking the Eagles should roll them. Mm-hmm. Like I said, though, the Giants have always been such a weird team the past decade and a half when it comes to the playoffs that I think
the Giants can make it competitive.
Yeah.
I think Eagles take it, though.
Yeah.
And then the last game, tomorrow night, Cowboys-49ers. Give me the 49ers.
I'm taking 49ers. So here's the thing. If the Cowboys have a good week, they could very easily win this. But they have been so sporadic this year in terms of when they play well and when they don't.
Right. I think you hit the nail on the head with a hammer.
Yeah.
Sorry, I screwed that one up.
The one thing with the 49ers, though, is they are a legitimate super team. Mm-hmm. The one thing is they have Brock Purdy at quarterback, which he's been playing well.
Lights out.
The difference is, though, is he does have a really good offense at his disposal. The Cowboys' pressure could get in his head, though, tonight. Or tomorrow night.
So I'm intrigued by the 49ers because it's something we've never seen before.
Yeah. Well, it's basically Brady when he first came into the league.
So Brady had a really good defense.
He didn't have a great offense.
He didn't have this offense.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy literally has like a Lamborghini handed to him.
Yep.
And he just has to not blow out the transmission.
That's the one thing is he has a really good offense. Mm-hmm. We saw what the Cowboys did to Brady last week on the defensive side. Now, the Cowboys' defense has actually been pretty solid this entire year.
Right.
It's just been their offense that's been very sporadic.
I'm excited for this game because this is a Cowboys 49ers in the 90s was like the rivalry.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool that we have a chance in the playoffs to see that again.
Yeah. Well, that was basically two dynasties going at it, too, at that point.
But what I will say is I think the 49ers offense looks better with Purdy than it was doing with Garoppolo.
So here's the one thing I will say is Kyle Shanahan was not adapting to Garoppolo's strengths. He was running the Shanahan offense. It was hoping that a quarterback could come in and play that offense he wanted.
Which, as a head coach, it's his right to do.
Which is his right to do. But I also think Garoppolo got a little screwed over because I think he's a very good quarterback. His biggest problem is getting injured.
Mm-hmm.
But they have this guy Purdy that comes in and is able to play well in his offense, and I think that's why it's working so well, especially with these ridiculous weapons that they have.
I think we spent too much time together because we just picked all 4 games the same. So officially, you're picking the Jags over the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing that all week. You're saying Bengals over Bills.
Mm-hmm.
I will roll with you on that. Eagles over Giants, same. And who are you picking this one?
The 49ers.
I kind of want to go to Connecticut, bet on all 4 games the opposite of what we said, just so we can, just so when this blows up next week, I can just take a nice little cash to the bank.
Yeah. I'm also like, I'm not, actually, I guess for the NFC, I did choose statistically the seedings that are better to win.
Mm-hmm.
But that AFC, they have been beating up on each other all year. I really could give it to either team right on those ones.
Yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if any of these teams win.
God, it's so weird seeing that Jaguars logo, though, in the playoffs.
Remember this hasn't happened since that Brady comeback against the Jags when he was in New England. That was the last time. Yeah. And they literally blew up that team.
Yeah.
The next season. But how crazy is it that, like...
And Brady had that comeback with a cut in his hand, a bunch of stitches, and Gronk got knocked out in that game.
Patrick Mahomes is the oldest quarterback in the playoffs right now. How crazy is that? So,
what do you think? You think Brady comes back next year?
I think he does. I don't think he's going to the Bucs.
He's not going to the Bucs. I think there's a very interesting situation because the 49ers were big on him, but now they have Purdy doing his thing.
So here's the problem. Trey Lance is under contract.
And Trey Lance is under contract.
Brock Purdy's under contract.
I think Garoppolo's contract's up, though, isn't it?
I think.
Or no, he got an extension.
I remember he restructured it at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, because that's an interesting situation. There's also interesting things. So they were saying he could have gone to the Jets this offseason.
Okay, so Jimmy G is a free agent. So I think it's safe to say Jimmy G is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So what they broke it down on one of the sports shows. You can keep both Purdy and Trey Lance because Trey Lance is on a rookie quarterback deal.
Yep, which is super cheap.
And Brock Purdy's Mr. Irrelevant. Brock Purdy's making less than some kickers.
Yeah, so what happens is if Purdy underperforms, you bring back whatever that other guy's name is, Trey Lance.
You almost have to let him win it out in camp. Mm-hmm. But my thing is, like, you can't have a quarterback win you a Super Bowl and then have him start on the bench.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They did that with Nick Foles and Wentz.
Yeah.
And it almost tore the team apart.
So Garoppolo could go to Jets. He could go to Bucks. Or what I think is the most probable situation, he goes to the Raiders.
So here's the thing. Sorry, I'm just going to stand up for a minute here.
Yep.
Crotch shot. So here's the thing. The free agent quarterbacks, do you value Jimmy G as a starter? We both do.
Yes.
So I think McDaniels would in Vegas.
That's why I think he goes to the Raiders.
If you're McDaniels, everyone's saying Brady to the Raiders. But I don't see it because they have a bad offensive line, a bad defense, and no history of winning.
Yep.
Past 2002 was the last time they were winners.
But
you have Darren Waller at tight end. You have Adams at wide receiver. And you have a couple other wide receivers that are pretty good down there.
Yeah.
What team is ready to go now that needs a quarterback? For Brady. Let's tackle Brady first.
The Jets are a good team. The Jets are a solid team. They have a really good defense. Their offense can be good. They were just lacking at the quarterback position all year.
Brady's son is in New York. But the problem is, like, with his legacy, he's a big legacy guy. I don't think he ever wants to be that guy.
And plus, I already heard Joe Namath say that he's willing to unretire his number
12.
for Aaron Rodgers to go there.
So he would definitely do it for Brady.
Yeah. But I feel like that makes you think, as Rodgers already have something going on where he could go there? Which I'm surprised that hasn't been asked. That will be asked on Pat McAfee this week at this point.
They did it last week.
Oh, they did?
Or this past week. He hasn't decided if he's playing. He'll let the Packers know. But he's under contract.
Yeah.
So he's either going to be there or traded.
I still personally think the highest chance for Brady is going to the 49ers. Because think about it. You have these two guys on rookie contracts still.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you think they keep all three?
I think then Brady goes there, and just think about it. If it doesn't work out with Brady, you put either one of those guys in, but still Brock Purdy gets to learn from Brady, and the same with Trey Lance. They get to learn from Brady.
It's so early to speculate. So early.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about these teams that need a head coach, too.
Yeah.
So, on paper, the Colts were supposed to be a juggernaut this year.
Mm-hmm. I heard that about the Colts.
Are they still a juggernaut next year with the same team, or was it just a mistake from top to bottom? Do they have to restart?
You know, I was not impressed by that team really at all.
Well, no one was. They had like 3 wins.
I just don't know. Was it the fault at quarterback, or was was it Matt Ryan's fault when he was in there, or was it the team around him?
Matt Ryan says he's not retiring, so he's going to be a good backup for somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the other thing they said with the AFC. Does Tom Brady want to go to the Raiders, where he's going to have to face Patrick Mahomes?
I just don't see it.
I don't see it either.
He wants what gives him the best path to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. So we're still talking about Brady, right?
Yeah, they just put out actually the betting on most probable places for him to go.
Mm-hmm.
Patriots were listed as 4th, but I think they're actually higher up than any of us could think.
It depends, because you see the Patriots are actually hiring an offensive coordinator for the first time in like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it would depend who the offensive coordinator is, if Brady wants to run that system.
Yeah.
But also how much damage was done during that divorce.
I don't know. Apparently him and Belichick have actually had some really good talks outside of...
But from a Belichick standpoint, I think it's you that I was talking about. He's so far deep in with Mac Jones that he would have to admit he made a mistake.
Did you hear, though, about his problem with Mac Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones went behind his back for the...
Play calling
and everything, which... And Belichick did not commit to him being the starting quarterback or a quarterback on the team next year. He said he's good enough to play in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't say that he was the quarterback next year.
Especially with how Zappy did. My thing is, like, I'd rather take a veteran at this point, at least get him in the room. I like Hoyer, but he gets a concussion.
I think he retired.
Hoyer retired?
I think he did.
Might have been. He was on the team this year, so...
I think he retired at some point, like, right after his concussion, actually. But I could be wrong.
I don't remember it.
Maybe he didn't. I thought he did.
Nope, as of February.
No.
Oh, no, sorry. That's an old article. Nope, nothing yet.
I thought I saw something saying here.
But again, your backup, it's great that he knows the offense and he's in the room, but every time he gets in, he gets hurt.
Well, so that's what I'm also saying is...
So with Brady, I just went through the AFC teams. The only ones I can see... Texans need a quarterback. He's not going to the Texans. That is a dumpster fire.
Maybe Titans?
Titans was the one I was going to say.
You also have a juggernaut of a running back.
Which
Tennessee.
you need, because he just threw it for like 60 times on Monday.
Yeah.
You need a running game. All right.
So that's the one thing is people are saying like, oh, Brady had like a terrible year and stuff. It's like you as a quarterback cannot play well if you physically don't have any type of running game behind you.
Correct.
He had the most completions and most pass attempts this year and still only had 9 interceptions.
Mm-hmm. They said Brady looked great. It was his team. The wide receivers dropped everything, ran wrong routes. It was bad.
He still said he needs to take 1 to 2 months before he decides if he's playing or not. And the NFC,
the Buccaneers, it makes sense, but it just seems like he wants to win.
Yeah.
So, and that team sold out to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the NFC right now. The Commanders need a quarterback, but that's a dumpster fire.
Yeah,
he's not going to go to a dumpster fire.
They have a good coach though. Is that the one
coach.
Rivera's for?
Ron Rivera,
Yeah.
And you could argue with a quarterback they would have won more games this season.
Rams.
Because like the Commanders were 8-8. That's not the worst thing, but their ownership is a mess.
You know,
did you see their pig mascot?
No.
They have a pig mascot now.
Ugh.
I got you.
I could, looking at that list though, the Rams were an interesting team this year, and I'm like, oh boy, are they trying to like change their logo and stuff and name?
Yeah, not their name. That is Major Tutty.
Washington Piglets. Let's call them that.
In the 90s, there was the offensive line, then they called them the Hogs.
Oh.
So that's what they're doing. But, you know everything. The owner's getting sued. They're trying to take away his team. I don't think Brady wants to deal with that. Rams are an interesting team, but they sold out to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you would need Stafford to retire. And also, you have no money.
There's a high chance they do. I just don't know what their defense is like.
The problem, the Seahawks would take Brady over Geno Smith, I think.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have to run Pete Carroll's offense.
Oh my God, 49ers only allowed 277 points this year?
Oh, that's crazy. That's got to be a league low.
It is. They have the number 1 defense in the league.
Cardinals have Kyler Murray, and they just fired their coach. They're not going to get rid of Kyler Murray.
So that was a thing, is Cliff Kingsbury, I could see wherever he goes, Brady teaming up with him.
Thailand? I'm pretty sure he's in Thailand right now. He just got on a plane after he was fired.
Yeah, that's true. Were the Bears actually bad, or was it their...
They were so bad.
Yeah. Imagine if he took Aaron Rodgers' spot at Green Bay. I think Green Bay Bears are just a mess. He doesn't go there.
Packers, I can see if Aaron Rodgers retires, but also he doesn't want to play in the cold, is what I heard.
Yeah.
And it's too far away from his family. So my thing, would you get rid of Kirk Cousins for Tom Brady? Tom Brady, king of the big game, or Kirk Cousins, who's got more years left?
Do you see their point differential? It's one of the It's the worst point differential for a 13+ win team.
The Vikings?
Yeah, they had -3.
The Vikings.
So if
were crazy this year because they won games they weren't supposed to win.
If you look though at the points allowed, their points allowed are up there with one of the worst defenses in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Brady goes there because of that.
My thing is you have to wash your hands of Kirk Cousins for good. And the Vikings haven't done that.
The
thing is, the Vikings were so good, I can't imagine they don't try and run it back.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is a guy that I don't think, like, he doesn't get enough credit for what he is actually capable of as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He just hasn't performed in the big games.
I don't think he goes to the Lions. They're pretty happy with Goff.
That second half of the season turnaround, like, they legitimately almost made the playoffs.
Right. And they were an awful team last year, so... I think the Lions are going to keep what they got.
I personally can't see him staying with the Bucs.
And then that leaves...
I don't see any of these teams him going to.
Falcons are too far away. Saints are still dealing with the issues they have.
I think they have a money issue too, actually.
The Saints had a money issue last year, and they're going to have a money issue this year. They sold out to win with Drew Brees, and it's still biting them.
Actually, think about it too. If you go back to the AFC...
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee as well. Mike Vrabel's the coach.
Old teammate.
Yep.
So at this point, man, I agree with you. I think Titans might be the best shot. But the Panthers are just a dumpster fire again because they get rid of everyone.
Yeah, so Panthers are interesting. That could be another thing. Their cap space is hit because of McCaffrey, too.
Yeah.
So I don't think he can go there at all.
I just don't... I think he wants to win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just... I think one of these teams we're overlooking is going to have to screw their quarterback.
Titans were good up until Tannehill got injured.
Yeah.
So,
and then they were playing with a third-string quarterback.
yeah, so I could see Titans. Actually, Ravens may be in an interesting quarterback spot, too. They may be getting rid of Lamar Jackson.
John Harbaugh said there's 200% chance that he's going to be on the team next year. With Lamar Jackson, they're just going to franchise tag him.
That was the thing, though. If they got rid of Lamar Jackson, that's instantly the Patriots quarterback. Belichick loves Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yeah. And we have the most money cap space.
So I think realistically, 49ers are actually a pretty high chance, higher than people realize. Mm-hmm. I think Tennessee Titans, and I actually think Patriots.
I'm going to say...
I don't want him on the Patriots, though.
Man, I'd welcome him back in a second.
So here's the thing, is I would not mind him coming to the Patriots 1 year as a quarterback, retiring, and then becoming like an offensive coach or something, quarterback coach.
You get to a certain level as an all-time great where you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't want to be a coach. If you notice, like, you might be an all-time great, you might be an announcer. That's it.
Yeah, he's got a 10-year Fox deal as well.
Right.
Biggest commentary deal in history.
I would welcome him back to the Patriots because we have a solid defense, a great running game, and if they can put that's honestly the best chance to win.
Yeah. Plus, you have to. Patriots have always been they're always smart with their cap space. They have one of the highest cap spaces available this year.
After they did that spending spree after he retired.
So he comes in. There's instantly players that are going to call up.
Instantly.
So you have all that cap space to negotiate to get more players in.
But then it's up to Belichick to be like, okay, you can't win without Tom Brady.
That's true.
Is the story. So if he doesn't care?
Plus, you run into the issue, how does that affect Mac Jones?
Oh, you can't have Mac on the team. Because if Brady struggles a little bit, I think they would trade Mac Jones, Billy Zappi number 2, Hoyer number 3. And
see, I say Hoyer isn't in there. You have Brady, Jones, Zappi. Because
you bring back Jimmy G as the backup. You pay him a shit ton of money to sit for a couple years, and then finally, after a decade behind Tom Brady, Jimmy G gets to play for the Patriots.
I was so upset that he was not, like, that they didn't get rid of Brady while Jimmy G was there.
I thought it was going to happen, but I'm glad it didn't. Because Jimmy G's kind of...
Because he still won 2 more Super Bowls, but...
He's not durable. All right, so we're hitting that sweet 52-minute mark. Anything else you want to talk about today?
I don't know if I have much to talk about. I can't wait to see how badly my predictions go.
I'm so excited. Like I said, I wish I had more time to drive to Connecticut, place a couple online bets.
That were opposite of what I chose?
Opposite of what we said.
Of what we said. Yeah, that's true. I you know what though, if I'm completely right, oh man, this would be a great week, and I would not be. I would so love to put in my input next week too. It's gonna be great. Oh wait, are you looking at the odds?
I'm looking at the spread.
Oh jeez.
What bums me out is online sports gambling's coming to mass at the end of the month.
Yeah. It's not a bad spread.
Negative 9.5.
Yeah.
So if you think the Jags are going to win, and you spot the Chiefs 10 points, that's pretty good odds. But anyways, we've been Nerds in the Gym. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Marco. We'll see you next week to see if our predictions are correct.
Thank you. Thank you for our predictions. Catch you on the flippity flop.